we go. All right. So we have quite a show lined up today. We are going to be covering a few things that all of us have kind of seen. um, we have seen this week, we saw Amazon Web Services go down, which shut down a lot of the internet. So we'll be briefly talking about how that affected Coinbase and Signal, which led to people talking to Elon Musk about Cassia messaging, and we'll be talking about castmap.org. That'll be on later, and we might even get Seb here. And we're going to talk also about the Match My Kaspa that VJ started as an interesting trend. And of course, what wallet number 2 is now wallet number 1. And also, Kadena just shut down. So we have a lot of things we want to discuss today. And Juan and I just got off the phone, and I was telling him about how I met with Kaspa Queen. So I figured it might be good for us to just kind of open up about that, since it was my first time actually meeting anyone in the Kaspa community in the flesh. It was my first time that's ever happened. So I'm really excited about that. Juan, do you want to say anything before I kind of get into that? Is there anything you want to share or lead with?
No, we're good. I'm interested to hear how your first IRL in real life experience went and what you guys talked about. So kick it off. Excited to hear about it.
Awesome. Well, first of all, I love that Kaspa Queen's in here. So a big wave to Kaspa Queen. Uh, she is so smart and bright and intelligent and beautiful and social and friendly and kind and all those wonderful qualities you want to give to a person. She really uh, just welcomed me with open arms, and we instantly connected and had such a great lunch. We had some hibachi at a Japanese restaurant. Just had such a great time. And it was really good because it was the first time I was able to connect with someone through Caspa and our mutual enjoyment and appreciation and understanding of what Caspa is, while also connecting on all these other different things that we had in common, which was really, really such a blessing. And I'm really glad that I got to meet with her. One of the things that we discussed, and she gave my blessing to talk about it. Uh, so first of all, she gave me some beautiful insight on something that I had concerns about, and it really helped me. So let me just kind of frame what I'm talking about. So I had mentioned in the last few episodes that I wanted to challenge people to use AI to develop building something on Kaspa using smart contracts. And I had suggested that one thing I was interested in was building a decentralized marketplace so that my son could have somewhere to sell his used comic books. Well, while I was having conversation with Kaspa Queen, I said, look, I'm having some concerns about this project. What if the wrong kind of person wants to sell something on a decentralized marketplace? What am I looking at? And without missing a beat, without any hesitation, she instantly knew what I was talking about and began to talk about her own experience with what she saw with Silk Road and what happened with Bitcoin way back, which got us both just going back and forth about Tor websites, the black market, how things can be sold, and how that can lead to nefarious things being sold. And it made me really have a lot of concerns where I reversed my train of thought, and I thought maybe I'm not ready to build something like this. I mean, sure, I want to see some sort of competitor that's decentralized go up against someone like Walmart or eBay or Amazon. but I don't think we have that infrastructure right now to be prepared for the kind of moderation that would be involved in that. And one thing that Kaspa Queen said, and I remember it as clear as day, she said that she was reminded of a time that she had seen an advertisement showing a photo of a puppy. And when you click the ad to see the puppy, you open it and it says, "Do you want to see fireworks?" Clearly, that's code for something else that's not a puppy. This got me thinking about obviously things like human trafficking, things that can happen beneath the surface of what you see is something that's really being sold. And I don't have the resources or the time to do that kind of moderation right now. So, thanks to Kaspa Queen really hearing me out and really having a heart to heart with me, I was able to really look at that objectively and say, you know what? I'm not ready for that right now. And so I think she brings some really valuable insight and knowledge. And I love that about her. It just made so much sense to me. And so what that did is it got me thinking of two things. First, I want to give everyone here a word of caution that if you're going to build and develop something on Caspa that's decentralized, you might want to think about what happens if it becomes popular? What happens if it becomes as scaled as you dream about? What if it's bigger than you thought? Are you prepared for that? Are you prepared for the moderation that that's going to take if that's necessary? Not all things will. And it also, the second thing, it got me thinking about what do I want to do next? Right? It's going to have to be something different. And so I'm going to go in a different realm. It's not the direction I'm going to go. But that doesn't mean that eventually we're going to have no way forward. I do think optimistically about this and feel that one day we will have some sort of infrastructure that can handle a decentralized marketplace in a safer way. I just don't think we're there yet. And also, just speaking on Kaspa Queen's behalf, she really wants to encourage more meetups. She really wants to see these local, small, mini meetups so that people can start to get to know one another and meet one another and connect in different cities. And she recently went up to Sacramento just for a day, met some folks, had a great time. And then she and I met in SoCal. And this was after she just emceed out in Berlin. So she's really getting to know a lot of people. If you're interested in some of her ideas about meetups and local mini groups and stuff like that, reach out to Kaspa Queen. There's 3 E's in Queen. So when you're on X, it's at Kaspa Queen, 3 E's. And hopefully she'll open that up. Uh, I had such a beautiful lunch with her, and I feel I feel really nice having connected with someone that I could bounce ideas off of, who could see the direction I was going, who was supportive of that direction, and also understanding of the concerns that I was bringing up. And she just, without hesitation, recognized exactly what I was talking about and had such a valid, thoughtful position on that. I just really appreciated meeting her. And so, yeah, I just want to open up and just start there that it was so nice meeting in real life a fellow Caspian and having that real life connection, because I'm usually a hermit. Okay, I don't socialize very much unless I trust the person. I just usually don't. I don't go out to bars. Uh I don't go to clubs. I go to libraries, okay? I'm boring. I go to libraries. I go to the grocery store. I go to gas stations. I pick up my kid from school. That's pretty much it. So for me to meet with someone was really, really special, and I really appreciate that.
Kara, it sounds like it was exactly what you needed to meet a fellow Caspian and confirm that Kaspa Queen is not a bot. I've also met her in person. She was a wonderful MC at the Kaspa experience. I didn't get to speak with her. I mean, met her in passing. She had a lot of things she had to do while we were there. But I'm really happy for you that you were able to meet up. And a lot of times, especially being on X, we're in this little echo chamber, and the only way we interact or see other people that have similar thoughts is on this platform. And it's really, really, really great to be able to meet up in person. And it's just a different energy, right? It's a different form of connecting and communicating. And that's pretty cool that you were able to get your thoughts out. So I mean, you hit on a lot of points there. um and we obviously had a conversation about it a little bit prior to. So you did mention what is it that you're going to lead more towards, because it sounds like, okay, maybe the idea is there, and maybe we're not set up to do some of the things that you want to do, but what was it that you said you were going to lean more towards?
Okay, so I had an idea. I've had this for a few months. I don't know if I can pull it off, but I think it's possible. I'm thinking what I may do as a non-risky way of building something that could be useful to Caspians is to set up a notification service so that we can look at the top 10 or top 20 Kaspa wallets. And every time one of them makes a deposit of money into their account, into their wallet, uh, an account on X could be notified to say, hey, wallet number 3 just added 8 million. And then everyone can be notified on that X account of that wallet growing over time. I think a notification service would be a really nice script to write if I can figure it out with the help of AI. I think that might be a better direction where I can practice building and practice developing without being responsible for someone's nefarious actions or something like that. Right? It's just a way forward with the least risk.
Yeah, I think that sounds like a great idea, and that's what you talked about briefly when we had the conversation. So I think that's wonderful. There's accounts that update us on other information like that. So that sounds like a really fun project. That it'd be cool. Be cool to see you build that, put that out for Caspa.
Would be nice. I'm curious to see about those wallets growing and all of that happening. Um, just moving forward to the other thing that we wanted to talk about that hit the entire country was pretty much affected. Now, half the country, not so much, but it did indirectly impact almost everybody, and then directly impacted at least close. I heard close to half of all Americans when Amazon's web services went down just 2 days ago. AWS was shut down. Apparently, I don't know. It gets really technical. I'm not even sure how it completely shut down. I have my own theories. I am a little bit of a, I've said this many times, I do have a paranoia sort of aluminum foil hat on, and it reminds me of Stuxnet 2.0, which is a whole nother topic. But when it shut down, it affected several businesses, including Coinbase, including Signal. And everybody knows that Signal has said forever they're decentralized. Well, they have a decentralized protocol, but apparently they have relay servers that rely on Amazon. Elon Musk said, wait a minute, I have concerns about Signal. Because remember, he's been using Signal for a long time. He's dependent on Signal because he loves that it's encrypted. He says the most wonderful things about it. But when AWS went down, he said, whoa, we need to relook at Signal here. And when he did that, me and many other Caspians went on his X page and said, hey, check out Cassia messaging. It's encrypted, it's fast, it's decentralized. And my understanding is it doesn't rely on Amazon for any relay server. Does anyone know for a fact that it doesn't? Because I'm pretty sure that it's just Kaspa nodes that it relies on, right? Do you know one?
Say that again. I'm sorry. You cut out on me in the last thing you
Do
said.
you, do you know 100% that Cassia messaging doesn't rely on Amazon for any relay servers, that it's just Kaspa
Yeah, so the
nodes?
way I understand, and if anybody else wants to chime in on this, request to speak. So the way I understand Cassia messaging is built on the layer one, right? So it's confirmed through all the nodes that obviously run Caspa. So it's a completely different setup. Yeah, and this obviously speaks to what we're what all systems pretty much work as. There can be a single point of failure that completely takes things down and completely disrupts an entire ecosystem. So yeah, that's one of the benefits of Kaseya messages is that it runs through all of our nodes, right? And it isn't centralized. It's a decentralized platform. So
Yeah, and this is why we have got to get our hive mind and just go and swarm Elon Musk with Cassia messaging because he's trying to find a solution outside of Signal. And this could be the answer. And imagine if he were to suddenly say, hey, here's a solution to Signal. And what if it works and he starts talking about Cassia messaging? That's huge. It could be so big for us. Um, this this shutdown affected Coinbase, and even though Kaspa doesn't have a spot listing on Coinbase, we do have a futures listing, and there were people who couldn't use it to do anything. No withdrawal, no deposit, nothing. That's dangerous, right? And so for Amazon to get shut down and affect nearly half of the country, that's a really big problem because you get one major corporation shut down or attacked or whatever exactly happened. I'm not sure, but it went down and we can speculate how it went down, but it did go down. And now we have to look at the fact that one company can shut down things that are in crypto, that someone as centralized as Amazon can affect people's ability to make a bet on a futures version of a decentralized crypto. Right? So that's something to think about. And I've heard some people say, maybe Amazon's getting too big. I think it's a valid thing to think about, but
oh
I
yeah,
don't know enough. It's not in my pay grade to even go down that conversation. But it's something to think about, right?
I mean Amazon's monopolized retail. I think that's a given, right? And that's what happens in um, in a system outside of what Caspa is trying to build, right? And I mean, it was Coinbase, it was Signal, it was Snapchat, Fortnite, Roblox. There was a lot of things that got disrupted by it. So just reading into it here. So yeah, I mean, it's Amazon is a monopoly on retail. Most of us, when we buy things, it's easy to do it that way. So um, yeah, it is an issue, and it shows the vulnerabilities of when we're depending on one thing to uh, to run a service like that. What can happen? So
Um, Yeah, when Roblox went down, I remember thinking, "Oh my goodness, there are so many kids right now who are affected by this. We're going to be panicking." I know. So many children and teenagers who love Roblox, and when Amazon went down, kids were wondering, why is this affecting me? What does Roblox have anything to do with that? And trying to explain that to them, to explain that one company could do this. It's
yeah,
fascinating
it's
to me that,
crazy.
yeah,
Yeah, it's super crazy.
yeah. Um, If anyone has any thoughts on that, feel free to be a speaker. I do also want to mention CastMap while we're here. Um, some people have learned about this. It just was publicly mentioned on Monday at the other blockchain Banter. Seb created Cast Map, and where he lives right now, he's on the other side of the world from where from where we are. So he's actually taking a nap right now. So we're gonna circle back to that topic in about 15 minutes. Maybe he'll wake up. The last time I spoke to him, it was 4 in the morning, and he said, "Let me take a nap, and if I wake up, I'll talk about Cast Map." So I do want to just say that's something we do want to talk about, but we're going to wait to see if he can actually be here to speak for it himself. If not, I'll talk about it. Well, Juan will talk about it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. Perfect.
we have so much. And I see that Kaspa Marketing is here, and they just talked about today creating Kasmi, which is this amazing analytical way to look at numbers. If you'd like to be a speaker, I see you're in the room. Feel free to speak. Kaspa Marketing, we would love to hear about Kasmi and what you're doing to launch with that. That's super cool. Also, while we're going to go there, I want to give a huge shout out to VJ. Um, those of you who've watched VJ this week saw that he did this post where he said, "Look, I will basically buy Kaspa, 10 Kaspa for every comment, every like, every reshare of this post." And he said, "But you have to be following me." And he ended up getting 544 comments, 517 shares, and 1,600 likes in 24 hours. And he ended up buying a little bit more than he promised to buy. He was supposed to buy 26,610 cas, and he purchased 28,700 Kaspa. And it doesn't even stop there. There were other people watching what he was doing and decided that they were either going to do it too or they were going to match him. So we had Kaspa Marketing, Illicit Nikki, Crypto Nate, Vikings Rise, and probably others who all started doing this. So there were huge buys, lots of likes and shares. I just thought that was amazing. Juan, did you see that post? Did you see what he was doing with
I did.
that?
I did, and I liked all the posts and made sure that I contributed to them buying more Caspa. I've picked up a bunch just because of when where the price is right now. I get excited when it gets like this because I'm like I can accumulate more. So I'm selling things. Um, I'm trying to get up as much Caspa as I can. I thought that was pretty cool. So you just broke down the numbers. So it was 26,000 likes, but he ends up buying 28.7, which is a significant number for us, right? That's the total amount of Caspa that'll ever exist. So it's pretty awesome that he did that. But yeah, I did see it. I did see it. I was thinking of putting a post up myself. I probably will. Probably will sooner than later. But I'm buying. I'm buying up. I mean, I when I see these prices, it's like I bought a couple times today. I'm just like, okay, I got to keep buying. I mean, so yeah, it's exciting. It's exciting to see VJ do that, and he's a big time leader in our community, and seeing other people catch on to that and chime in with that. So I think it's great. It's beautiful.
Awesome, awesome. I love that. And I just got so inspired seeing that, especially because Caspa's in a little dip right now, and people have their opinions, and he just took this opportunity to say, "You know what? I'm buying. Who's in?" And people are helping him get out of fiat to say, "Go invest more in Caspa." And I think it lit people up because literally over almost 2,000 people were liking this. I mean, what a way to bring people together.
Yeah, it just shows how organic this community is and how we're not focused on, we see the tweets out there, the shit talking, the shit posting. That's all it is. I sit back and laugh at it, but I I went back and forth with a Bitcoiner, a big time Bitcoiner who tried to call us an affinity scam, and he brought up points that Bitcoin went through itself. So all you got to do is do a little bit of research and realize this is the way the market's played out. We talked about this a little bit last week, where there's so much manipulation happening in the markets. We can't guarantee what's going to happen today, tomorrow, and next month. We don't know. But what we do know is that they have to print more money. The debt's insolvent, and a protocol like Kaspa with the foundational principles is repricing everything that's happening in those markets. So it's designed to go up forever because fiat is designed to go down forever. So as long as you have that in mind, one Kaspa equals one Kaspa. And if it's cheap for me, man, I'm going to scoop up as much as I can. So I think all these initiatives are great and exciting. Um, and at the end of the day, we got to get people to use the Kaspa, onboard people to the Kaspa wallet. So yeah, it's beautiful. It's great. You know,
And you
sentiment
made a
is down a little
really,
bit right now, Kara. Like when the prices like this,
yeah.
there's you get more of that, and I don't know. For me, I'm really good at blocking out the bullshit. I don't pay attention to any of that, and or the price for that matter, because for me, this is an opt out of fiat. Now, you should never put yourself in a position, where you're gonna be looking at the price all day. I don't really. You've shared this too. You don't really look at the price all the time, but I don't. For the most part, I'm excited about doing the show on a weekly basis now, getting to know more people, backing up my people when I see them, when people are trash talking them. I'm there. I'm looking at all the stuff that Caspa Onion puts up. I see Odie's in the room. I love all the stuff that Odie puts out because he drops truth. You can tell that man has so much insight with how with what Casper brings to the table. So that's what I'm doing, And when the prices are like this, we just got to scoop it up as much as we can.
You made a good point about the trash talking. There has been a lot of it, and you're right. People like Caspa Onion, they're in there constantly on the front lines, throwing it down and saying, "Hey, I'm just asking questions. Why do you keep blocking me?" Crypto Odie out there posting facts. I mean, Onion's posting facts
Oh
too.
yeah, that's all we do.
There has been so much trash talking, which leads into the subject that's actually on that we're going to talk about today, which is people who held Kadena called they said that Kadena was a Kaspa killer, constantly trash talking Kaspa, and they just made a public announcement that they are discontinuing their project. They're not going to do it anymore. They just decided that the market is crashing too much. It's not worth it. And for years, they were making fun of Caspa and saying that Caspa was going to fail, trash talking. And we heard so much of it, and now we see the RIP. And what's wild about this is it wasn't just people saying that it was a Caspa killer. They were making articles calling it a Caspa killer. They were calling they were calling it this on YouTube as well. There was um a whole trend about this. There were articles, people talking. It was on YouTube. Everywhere you turned, I remember seeing Kadena as being, oh, this is going to destroy Kaspa. This is the evolution of Kaspa. This is everything Kaspa can't be. And then we find out today that the company has decided to fold, which is ironic because they claim to be proof of work. And even though they may have had a proof of work protocol, they had money put aside for themselves. They had allocations. And here they did a rug pull. If you call yourself a company, I have a hard time believing you're really decentralized at all. So for them to even compare themselves to Caspa was wild to me. So I would love to hear from other people's opinions on that. I heard there were some people that lost $35,000. I heard this from one specific guy, and that was his life savings. Lost everything to Kadena, but based on all these um, what do you call them? The public announcements and the PR and all of that. It was too much, and people fell for it because they fell for the trash talking. rather than researching, looking for the truth, and actually seeing the numbers of what was held. Juan, I think you have those numbers, don't you?
Yeah, I
Do you
mean,
have those on hand?
yeah, I do. For in terms of whenever, okay, so for me, obviously, it's Kaspa, and I'm allocated to Kaspa and Bitcoin only, right? And it doesn't mean that I'm not open to other things, but I do have very, very foundational, strong principles that'll even have me consider anything else. So like I said, I kind of block out the noise. So I wasn't even aware of Kadena. I saw the announcement. I saw everybody commenting on it. So I went in and looked at. I'm like, okay, let me take a look at this breakdown. Then turns out Caspa Silver actually did a video on them about 9 months ago that he shared. But they were a crypto company, which is how I see 99.9% of the things out there, right? Caspa is a digital commodity. There is no issuer. There's trash talk about all this and that and how it was initially launched, but you can go back and verify all this for yourself that it was fair launch. There was no pre-mine, no VC, all that, right? And Kadena was not set up that way. So even though it was proof of work, so the way I understood it and what I looked at, that a billion coins that was going to be an issuance, right? But they were going to mine 700 million, and then 200 million was set aside for the marketing department and or whatever the section of it that closed down because Kadena is still going to be around, but they just don't have the marketing and PR like they had to, I guess, to talk all the trash they were talking that I'd never noticed myself. So they had that, and then they had so it was 200 million for that, and then another 90 million for the I want to call them the executives or the upper, the not again. So that distribution right there has me eliminate them as a cryptocurrency. There was a crypto company, which is what most of these projects are. They're crypto companies. They're not necessarily competing with Caspa or Bitcoin for that matter. So that's yeah. So a billion issuance, 29% of it was pre-allocated, and there was even I saw an article right before we got on this call that there was something about a there was a little insider trading with it, right? Before the announcement, a lot of the people that have most of the allocations dumped on them. So that's what you open yourself up to when you're working, when you're investing in crypto. I don't even listen, Kara. I don't even do stocks. I don't do equities. I didn't get a credit card until I was 36, and now I understand that game. I played it pretty well, but I'm pretty simple and to the point. That's like I store my money in Kaspa and a little bit of Bitcoin. So that's my 2 cents on that. But yeah, I'd be curious to hear anybody else out there what they thought about that or what they understood about it, and if they have any more insight on it.
Oh yeah, I definitely want to know what people thought about Kadena because I heard that there were a lot of people who had Caspa and Kadena, and I know that there's people who were affected by that, and I would love to hear any stories if anyone wants to come up and speak about it. Also, this week, wallet number two overtook wallet number one,
Yeah.
and now it's over 1.1 billion. We have a humpback. Do we have two now, or still just one? Do we have two humpbacks now?
I'm
I gotta look.
yeah, I'm gonna look this up.
Yeah, I'm gonna look it up too. I'm curious to see if we have two now, because that would be the first.
Yeah, Aquamans, we have two of them, yeah. I see two.
Ooh, we got two Aquaman. Oh my goodness. Wow, this is exciting.
And we got Caspians too,
Okay.
interesting.
One. Do we have two humpbacks? Nice. Yeah, I'm curious what people think about who that could be. Who is wallet number one? I'm curious if anyone's willing to speculate. We're open to thoughts and opinions about that. So if you'd like to be a speaker and talk about it, I'd love to hear. We'd love to hear from you. So yeah, feel free to request to speak. And it looks like we have Kaspa the Green, so I'm going to open the floor to you.
Good evening. Yeah, hey, I just hopped in. You guys were talking about Kadena, and just wanted to point out Charles Hoskinson. You guys probably know who that is. Cardano. He kind of hollered at the ecosystem over there and was like, "Hey, anybody want to reach out?" So mumblings about him trying to get in on taking that over. And yeah, there's two Aquaman. Haven't It's been out almost exactly a year since we've had two. I found that interesting. I seen that today and posted that up.
Did you have any Kadena? Were you affected by it at all?
No, I'm pretty similar in what Juan had to say. I mean, I was in Bitcoin before Coinbase was Coinbase, is GDAX, and I got out and then got back in with the Ethereum. And then when they went to proof of stake, I got out again. And then when I heard Jonathan was working on his own, I got back into mining again. So no, I steer clear of a lot of the other crap out there.
Okay, I'm looking at the numbers. We have 2 Aquaman, 15 humpbacks. I was getting Aquaman and humpback confused earlier. We have 15 humpbacks, 209 whales. That's incredible. The Aquaman, the 2 of them own 8.22% of the supply. That's, I think, an important number to consider, especially when we're just looking at things like centralization and stuff like that. Let's see here. It looks like Kaspa Marketing is requesting us to speak. Here we go. All right, Kaspa Marketing, you're on.
Hey guys, how are you doing?
Excellent. How are you?
I'm doing good, thank you. How's the book? Did you put any more work in?
You know, I did. I wrote in it yesterday, and I got the plot moving forward. I definitely did. I went the whole week without writing anything, and then yesterday it all came to me in one big burst. So I spent a few hours on it yesterday. Thank you.
Nice. That's awesome. That's awesome. Do you have a title for it yet?
I have a working title. The working title is like.
That's the
I
name,
love
like?
that. Did you catch it?
It's a working title.
Okay, okay. I like that. That's mysterious for now.
Like, wow.
Yeah, and yeah, we'll see. There's gonna be people who die saying like a lot, so I figured it could be a good title. But the title before like was 2185, which is the year that the book takes place. So I'm kind of teetering between the two. I don't know yet.
That's interesting because when you were talking about it, and you said it was sort of like 1984. Um, but it's futuristic, so I was like, I wonder if she's going to name it something like 2084 or something like that. So
Yeah, that's exactly right. That's why 2185 was the title for 10 years. And I just this year changed it to like. But I don't know yet. I don't know what I'm gonna do yet. It's not confirmed.
well, keep us up to date. Love to hear about it, and looking forward to reading it in whatever form you end up delivering it.
Thank you. Yeah, it's full of paranoia. It's full of surveillance. It's very tinfoil hat and very futuristic. It's everything that Edward Snowden talked about, but on steroids. And it's all of those things. And so I'm going there. I'm just going all out.
Without looking at your
Ooh, it looks
followers,
really
I
good.
can assume you follow Alex Jones by some of the posts you retweet and stuff. I'm like, oh, she has a little tinfoil hat in her house somewhere.
You know, I actually don't follow him, but I do have a lot of respect for him. And a lot of the things I think about, I end up finding that he's also talked about. But for me, that's purely coincidental. I did listen to what he had to say about Candace Owens, but other than that, I haven't really checked in on him in a while. But yeah, he's definitely in the same sort of lane as me. I definitely would put us in the same lane for sure.
Yeah. Well, I don't want to go too far off topic because my fiance listens to Candace Owens, and I wear a little tinfoil hat myself, so we could probably go down a couple rabbit holes. But back to Kadena and crypto companies. I respect the innovation, but I think having those core positions, like Juan said, it keeps you from losing sleep at night. You know, and there's definitely been many opportunities over the years where I like totally missed out on something. You know, but I'd say more often than not, I saved my bag by not getting too diversified. Um, So yeah, I think if people were exposed to Kadena, overexposed to it, if he lost 35,000, that guy you were talking about, but he has 3.5 million in the bank. It's kind of like a no skin loss type of thing. But if it was his life savings and he put it into this company, um, man, that sucks. That sucks, and that's definitely an over allocation. I think that like I got involved with Bitcoin in 2017, and you have to be a little nuts at first, Like 2017, it at least was around for almost 10 years, so it was like, okay, this is a real thing. But some of these crypto companies that have nothing behind them, you really have to be nuts to put your life savings into it, because you can lose it all. You can lose it all in a heartbeat.
Thank you for sharing that, and I agree with you. Thanks for bringing that up. Um, People who put their life savings into a coin are really putting a lot of trust into what they have researched, we hope, but they're also putting a lot of faith and hope into something. And so be careful putting anything in crypto that you're not willing to lose. That's what I try to think about. But at the same time, if you really believe something is sound money and you've done the research, there's also a sense of conviction that I feel should be important as well. But it's tough to lose when you really believe something to be true. And there were a lot of people who really thought Kadena was sound money. They were so um, believable, right? Saying it's going to kill Kaspa, and everyone knows how cool Kaspa is. So there were people who really believed Kadena was the way to go, and they lost a lot of money. And we just see it dropping. The rug has been pulled, and it's devastating. And even though there were a lot of Kaspa haters in the Kadena crowd, I'm not gloating or happy to see them suffering. I just invite them to come to Kaspa and learn what this is about and learn why we like Kaspa to begin with and why it's still solid. And even though the price has dipped, it's a solid coin. It's a solid network. And there's so much more to it than just having solved the trilemma and being a usable coin that isn't just about number go up and hold forever. It's something you're meant to use. It's 10 blocks per second, right now around a nickel to buy. It's so undervalued. I can't think of a better investment, but I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not giving financial advice. Obviously, anything we say here is just opinions. I just think it's something to think about, to really weigh what's an opinion versus what is conviction based on research. And I think it's important that we do that. I do see Seb here. I know he's woken up very early in the morning to be here. So I do want to just shift to him for a minute, even though we've had other people who came up earlier. I do want to give Seb the floor because I want to get into Map that he just launched. So Seb, you have the floor. Go ahead and tell us what you have.
Hey, Cara. Hey, Juan. Good morning, people. It's like 4:50 a.m. here, and I went to bed like 1 a.m., something like that. So I had a few hours of sleep. But yeah, my voice is just waking up. So yeah, Kasmap. I'm not sure where to start, but let me just take you back to the beginning of the concept, and that is that there is a BTC map, and that has been around for years already. And I have been talking with Bitcat about it, if you know him, also from X, and he's an avid BTC map user, and I have been using it myself as well, but that was like 8 years ago that I was using it sometimes. But it was nice. It's a merchant map, and you can see on the map where there are merchants that accept Bitcoin. And yeah, we were having a talk about it, that we also needed for Kaspa a likewise map. So I started to build it, but there are some issues with the Bitcoin map, and that is that it's a rather passive map. It's not really, it's not used that much, and also and there's also some spam on it, or mostly also inactive merchants. They think, oh, it's a nice idea. Let me put myself on the map, but then nothing really happens. And also the people working in the stores, they don't really know it, and how can we accept Bitcoin payments? But so it's a rather passive way to deal with it. So I was thinking how to make it a more an active map, and how to make it more attractive also for merchants to get on the map and to stay on the map and to be active with receiving Kaspa. So I was thinking, well, we should add Kaspians to it. And the next thing, of course, was, but why should a Caspian be on the map? Well, they also have to do stuff with the map. So the next step was I should add like meetup functionality to it. And with the meetup, you also need to be able to add events. So from one thing came the other, and it expanded a bit. And well, as it is now, you have users. Everybody who wants to do something on the map, you can sign up and make a user account. Once you have a user account, you can open or you can start a merchant. You can start a group, or you can start an event. But you can also open a group and have the group start an event, or have the merchant start an event. So the event is where the action takes place mainly. And that in short, the story of how Caspap has been formed. I need to take a sip from my drink for a moment, if you don't mind. A moment. I'm a little bit under the
Yeah,
weather
go
still.
ahead and
Yeah.
drink. Yeah, so if you guys are curious about this Caspa map that Seb is talking about, you can go to his this X page, which is castmap.org, or you could go to castmap.org, which is the website, and you can sign up and reveal that you're a Caspa holder, and it will show the center of the city you're in, but will not pinpoint your residential location. The only places it pinpoints are commercial locations. That's my understanding. And like he said, you can set up group events and things like that and let people know where they're going to be, which I think is really innovative and it's super cool. And what I love about this map is the sense of privacy and the sense of unity, where we can see all these dots and see where everyone in the world is located who's signed up. And you can say, hey, I see all these people in Europe. That's incredible. Or, right, I'm in California and I see my dot and I feel safe because it doesn't reveal exactly where I'm at, but in a vicinity where you know I'm there. And I like that. I'm really glad that you built it. I think it's really
Yeah,
phenomenal.
thank you. Yeah, I'm pretty much of a privacy advocate myself. So yeah, I think it's important, and also especially when it comes to cryptocurrency, there's not just privacy, but there's also safety. So I made it impossible to enter your personal address into it. You can only put in your city, and if you are living in a tiny village of 200 people, and you think, well, if I put my tiny village in it, and everybody here will know that it is me, then yeah, you can just as well put in a bigger village next to you or a nearby big city, because it doesn't have to be exact where you are living, but you want to be placed on the map nearby, yeah, in your vicinity, nearby your where you are living, but it doesn't have to be exact. And
That's
there's
what I did.
sorry,
That's what I did, Seb.
ah,
That's what I did. I actually put a different for mine just for
yeah,
extra privacy, but I still like it because I know that's me. I'm there, and it's far enough for me that I feel safe. So I
yeah.
love that you built in that feature rather than it relying on GPS. So thank you for that.
Yeah, you're welcome. And there is a button in it to auto detect your location, but that will always, also in the background in the database, it will always go to the center of the municipality you're in. So it will never, yeah, or you happen to live exactly at the center, then it's of course a dot nearby your where you are living. But because area that's only for the people who are really living in the middle of the city center. But it still won't be pointing at your own house, but it will be pointing at the city center. So it's impossible because also the latitude and longitude, they will be calculated and stored as the city center, so not your own address. And there is just no field for a street or your house number. That's not available in the database, so that's also impossible. Also, there is a crosshair on the map, and if you are pressing the crosshair, it will be on your side. So it's on your browser or on your mobile phone. It will be retrieving your location and then interact with the map. But also that is not stored. It's all happening at your at your place. So it's just for convenience. Um, and also, yeah, it will be visible for like 60 seconds, but it's just an easy button to navigate. And you can play a little bit with it. You can zoom in and zoom out using the buttons. You can also, but I saw, by the way, that for the United States there is a bug because for some reason I noticed yesterday. Let me check if it's still there. Yeah, for the United States it doesn't show the flag, but for other countries it should show the flag. You also see if you are on the map and you click on a person, you click, you get a pop-up, and you will see that the flag is loading. And if you then click on the flag, you will see a list of the people who are living in that country. Also, the sorting, because there's a lot of gamification built in. I will be talking about that afterwards. But the gamification, the points that you are scoring, and also being verified or not, both are influencing your the sorting. And if you are verified, you will be higher. But if you have more points, you will also be higher. So the active people will show up earlier, sooner, on top, and the less active people, they will be lower on the list. And that's everywhere, because you have the map function. That's for everything that has a location. But there's also a list function. It shows the same, but it can also be, for instance, if you are organizing an event, if an event has a physical location, you will be on the map, but you are also able to do in the system, for instance, an online event. Then there is no location attached to it, so you won't show up on the map, but you will show up in the list section. So I was talking about being verified or not. I started this thinking I wanted to provide it totally for free, but also if we are looking at the commitment and the value, the presence of Kaspians is for the merchants, I was thinking, well, maybe I will use a donation function also for this, but we have seen lately that the donations aren't really working. People don't like to donate. So I was thinking, well, I'll make it a freemium model, and I will try to keep the prices as low as possible to upgrade yourself or to get yourself verified, as we call it on this website. And the free model is that you can participate in anything. But if you get a paid version, you unlock extra possibilities for your own profile. But also you can start a merchant, you can start events, and you can start a group. So you get more functionality. And also, and I think that's the most important thing, the moment you get verified, you add value also for the merchants to show up, because verified account shows that somebody really has Kaspa and is also willing to spend it. And I really try to keep the prices as low as possible. For instance, I also wanted to make sure that it's like in every country there's a different income level, and the World Bank has 4 tiers in income worldwide. So the standard price is €6 for a whole year in the European or Western countries. And so that's like $6.50, I think. It's 12 months. And it goes down to the lowest income countries to €1.50 for a full year. So it's not meant to become rich. It's trying to eventually cover the cost or part of the cost, but also to show the merchants that we are real Kaspa holders, and that makes it more interesting for the merchants to be and interact with us on the map. And also the merchants, I will start actively onboarding more next week. I'm still finishing some of the functionality, but also a merchant, to make it attractive for the merchant. He can also organize events. Visiting a merchant physically gives you the most points. It gives you 100 points. They also get for vouchers to use during a year 2 of 100 points and 2 of 50 points, and they can use them in any way they want to. They can, for instance, Wolfie's bar is throwing a party in 2 weeks' time, and if you are visiting Wolfie's bar, you get 100 points. But if he also has the event at the same time, you get 100 points for visiting him, and another 100 points because he is organizing that event at that moment. So then you get 200 points. And the point system is mainly to get bragging rights and to have fun with each other. But you can also, and that was inspired by Juan, to be honest. You can also have your own group, and you can challenge other groups. So there will be, I hope, a challenge between the group of Juan and a group from here, from the Netherlands, soon. And yeah, you can challenge each other. For instance, who can onboard the most Kaspians into the website, or in a 7-day period. And of course, if you onboard a Caspian and he's using your referral code, you already get 10 points each time you are onboarding somebody. But if you are doing it when you are part of the team that is busy with the challenge, in the end, every participant of the winning group gets standard 50 points. And if you are in a losing group, you are losing. Everybody who participated is losing 20 points. But I also made a high stakes, like 100 points if you win, and you lose 40 points if you lose. So that's and there is a live counter, so you can see which of the teams is doing best. The person who onboards the most, it will be the most valuable player, the MVP. And so I try to make a little bit of a gamification to make it interesting and to have fun with each other, and do the. You can do it in a local group, but you can also make a global group. Maybe you can make a group of people who like, just name it, the cat lovers versus the dog lovers. I don't know, the cat owners versus the dog owners. And you can organize yourself in any way you see fit. Of course, it is nice to meet people locally, because there's with the map there's a heavy focus on getting in touch locally, but you can also be creative and do it in other ways. Yeah, and yeah, before I keep on ranting on, maybe somebody has a question or wants to say something.
Yeah, I want to comment before, and we'll have Buffalo come up. Seb, this is awesome because I remember talking with you about this and BitCat having all these ideas and being very critical of, hey, something like this we need to do this, and it's really cool to see this come to fruition as quickly as it did. So a big thank you from all of us,
Thank you.
because this is a really big deal, and maybe some people get it, but for example, like with Bitcoin, they have the Orange Pill app, and I know with that, it allowed me to meet several Bitcoiners and go to events around here. So I'm excited. I'm excited about this site. So thank you for taking the time to do this, and I'm excited about the competition because that keeps it fun. Um, Happy to hear I inspired that. Now I'm
Yes,
gonna
for
have to
sure.
now I'm gonna have to keep my word and make things happen because I do have a few businesses that they haven't even registered on the initial site. That Yeah, but this is awesome, man. I set up my site today, or my profile. You gave me that code. I appreciate that. My code is, if you guys want to sign up, use it. It's Juan. This is my referral link. But yeah, man, this will be fun. I'm excited to use it and get people on board. So thank you.
Yes, you're welcome.
Yeah.
It costed me all my sleep in the last month. Every
I'm happy you got up, man. I'm happy you got up,
yeah.
and I know yeah, you're a soldier, man. You're a trooper. We appreciate
Yeah,
you
thanks.
so much. Yeah, man.
I think Buffalo wanted to say something, or
Yeah.
Cara.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm going to open to Buffalo in just a second. I just wanted to say that if anyone is interested in signing up, go to castmap.org. You can get 10% off if you're paying for the premium version. You can use the name Juan as a referral code, or you can use the name Cara as a referral code and get 10% off. Buffalo, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you guys. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Perfect. Seb, thank you so much for doing this for the community. This is kind of amazing. It's good to see this kind of understanding what's happening in the world, understand what's happening to the dollar and people, Caspians, we're transitioning the way we need to. So we're starting to build infrastructure for a new form of money that works and doesn't get dropped to the ground and where we get taken advantage of on a monetary level. So thank you for building this so we can have some connection with businesses. And we all have kind of an understanding, of the way we want the world to be. We are really ahead of the game, and Seb, you're ahead of the game for putting this together. So thank you for all your hard work, and thank you for making it happen and doing this for the community. And I think I completely agree. I don't think it should be free. When we have value to contribute, we do need to get paid a little bit. I thank you for making it so cheap. I think that's awesome. But when we put that work out, I think it's really important for us to you know to be given value for the value we put out. I think it makes everybody honest and respectful. So yeah, I haven't checked it out yet, but probably after this week maybe this weekend I'll have time to actually dive into it and check it out. But thank you again, Seb, for all the work that you do, man.
Thank you for your nice words. And I also like liberty a lot, and not just privacy, also liberty. And hobby. Money. The concept of money is a hobby of mine. So everything you just said, it rings to me, or if that's the right English expression. But I feel what you are saying, and I'm for the cost. I'm hoping to get it to cover the cost for itself. I can bear the cost, but I think it's better to have anything that is being built being able to sustain itself. And if this, because some people say that why is it so cheap, and you can you can ask more, etc. Well, my main focus it has been it has become really a passion project of mine. I have a passion for Kaspa, and we really need that real life, real world adoption of Kaspa, and that won't happen overnight. It will be something that everybody has to be working on, and it has to be a fun thing. So for me, the primary focus is to just make a success out of this. But I am realizing that if this is becoming a real success, it also has to be treated professionally. So, but I know that if this is a success, I can. I'm a business consultant for like 20 years. I can see many ways to keep the price low and still make also that I can earn money and even build a team around it. But that's only happening if it's becoming a success. We will see how it goes. So far, just the start is at least promising, and I'm really happy that so many people like it. I myself like it as well. I'm from the Netherlands, and we are already talking about organizing events in the Netherlands together with Bok, the guy who did the Bitcoin turtle NFT. He's also a freedom-loving guy. And he already started a group in The Hague, just for people from The Hague, but he is also going to organize several things, several events. One to help onboard Kaspians, merchants. He and I we will be in the same group, and we will battle one in that week that we are having that presentation for the merchants to see who can onboard the most merchants. That will be fun. But also we are going to organize together a meetup in Q1 of 2026 in the Netherlands for Kaspians in the Netherlands. And there was already somebody from Berlin. from Germany who was was checking if he could come as well. So we have to see. Everybody in the Netherlands talks English, so we will have to see if we make it an international gathering or more focused on the Dutch-speaking people. But you see, I build this, and now I see people actively organizing themselves and setting up events and groups, and it's really, really nice to see. And also, it's not. I have a road map or a wish list, or however you want to call it. I have like 100 more ideas to improve the user experience and user interfaces, and but also helping the onboarding of Kaspians and helping the onboarding of merchants. There are, because for merchants it's often, I have sympathy for the idea, but how do I do it? I'm just a mom's and pop store. I'm not technical. Uh, how do I make sure I'm compliant? Stuff like that. All those questions, and how can I receive payments? There are many questions, but also simple stuff like, but how do I make my customers aware that I am receiving, that I'm accepting Kaspa? So what I'm also planning to do, and that probably will start later this year, but it's also depending on how fast the solutions come to market. I want to also add a page for if you have a merchant. I will make an extra page inside it that you can see. Okay, I'm a merchant and I want to start. What do I want? Do I want to use a QR code? Or do I want to use a tapping device? Or how do I want to have my customers pay me? Or maybe I want to offer several. So if somebody wants to make use of a QR code, for instance, they will see Cashway POS as a solution. If they want to be able to let their customers tap a device, then they will be guided to Connexus, who I also see here. Very nice solution. And if they are saying, well, how do I make sure that people know that they can accept Kaspa here? Then there, from Rubarian Media, he has those stickers that can be stuck on the outside or against the outside facing windows. But he has also has a track record of point of sales material, also with QR codes or just general information. So it makes it very practical, like a stepping, like easy steps for merchants, a how-to guide. And here you can, there on that website, you can have this, buy this, there you can get that device. And just to make the whole onboarding process easier. That's also good for any Caspian here who wants to go and talk to. So maybe I should not only do it in the merchant page, I'm thinking now, but also just on the website, that any Caspian who wants to talk to a merchant has an easy to follow guide for the steps for the merchant he is talking to say, oh, it's easy, you just follow these steps and you can implement it. And so that's just one of the examples that I'm thinking that that this website can help with driving the real world adoption. And also a little bit of a different topic, but at this moment I haven't put in a communication system other than for the events that you can leave a comment. And I saw there was a bug with the events that only an admin gets a notification and not the followers. So I need to debug that. But also, if you are organizing an event and you can set an update to the people who are attending. But I haven't put in a chat function or something because I first want to see if I can get Keisha integrated, So to drive traffic to the Acacia solution, which also will be adding new transactions to the network, and that we are really using that. It's also good for privacy. It's all encrypted. So
I think that's a great idea.
yeah, thank you. Yeah, so I really hope that that is possible. I also talked with Isio Dev about it already, and yeah, we are going to see if we can make it happen or not. So no promises other than a promise to put in the effort to see if we can make it happen. But also I have put in like V4. Also, if you are going to make an event, you can choose, for instance, that you are going to do an online event with V4 streaming. Also to drive traffic to their website. I haven't looked into fully integrating V4. I first did an integration of V4, but then I was thinking, oh wait, it will be better if people don't stay on my page but go to V4, because if they go to V4, then they have also the extra functionality there that they also can chat there and also do the donations there, etc. So that's how I made it work now. Maybe later on, if V4 is developed a little bit further, and we can do a full integration. But I don't care if people stay on the Kasmap website or if they go to the V4 website. As long as people are using Kaspa solutions, I'm very happy. So this is a different strategy than the for instance, X. X penalizes you if you are sharing links that go to other websites. That's why you often see a post and then they point down for the link below. I don't care if you go to another page, as long as it's Kaspa, I'm happy. Just go use any Kaspa application. I'm just for the using Kaspa. So it's a totally different philosophy, and that's also, if you are looking at the logo, it says Kasmap and then Kaspa First Community Platform. It's a double meaning because it's the first platform, social platform or community platform for Kaspa. But the name originally came from, I want to be at Kaspa First. Normally, I think in English you use how do you say it? A stripe between a connector between it. So, for instance, also the social media links. I want to offer first, for instance, that you put in V4, and only a second option that you put in Twitch or YouTube for streaming. So for anything, for any solution, I want to offer a Kaspa first solution and then other solutions. And I don't think Kaspa ecosystem is mature enough to do Kaspa only. And so I did also here, we are on X together. But I do want to offer Kaspa solutions first, just to drive traffic to all the Kaspa solutions. And I need to take a drink again for my throat. Maybe if somebody else wants to pitch in.
Yeah, Seb, I think that's a great idea. I think that's really cool. I think that it's a good reminder of how disruptive this technology is. And I think this is what a lot of people, Bitcoin maxis, they don't understand. They're like, oh, price go up. But this is so much more than just a currency. I mean, we're going to be making sure these powers that be that try to make all these decisions for us when it comes to privacy, when it comes to where they put their money or technically where they put our money, they're not going to have a say. It's going to be a community. It's going to be community, which I'm really, really, really stoked about because, like you said before, Seb, that's liberty. So we're going to be building a community. We already are. We're building a worldwide community. Like we're all in the same village. We're just on different parts of the world, helping each other through business and with Kaspa. And I'm really excited. So thank you for all your hard work. And I think the more people that understand this, we can only go up from here, and more people will adopt. To see Kaspa in 4 years is going to be interesting. Thank you again, Seb.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Seb. And it's really cool to look on this. If you guys haven't checked out the map, just seeing all the people that have already created profiles. I know you've had the site up for about a week, so thank you, Seb, for coming up. We're gonna. So I see some hands up. I believe, was it the Kaspa the Green? I think you were up first, so you can go ahead, and then we'll go to Kaspa Marketing right after that.
Yeah, I just brought this up the other day on the other blockchain banter when you were in here, Seb. I want to say thank you. It is pretty cool. I've been checking out the map quite a bit. But also, I don't know if this would be more in your avenue or not, but I used to do web development. I've been out of it for a long time, but I threw an idea in the chat, just an artifact that I made with Claude, just so people can kind of visualize what I'm talking about. But something that I think that would be pretty cool if it could be integrated. I don't know if Connexus, this would be something that you could possibly be a part of. I don't know, but it's basically like, Craigslist or Facebook Marketplace or eBay or any of those things where, like example, I got a skateboard that I used to ride and gather in dust in my garage, and I want to sell it. Like I could post it, cross post it on, like, say, Facebook Marketplace or Craigslist or eBay, and then put a link actually pointing back to like a Kaspa Marketplace. So, and then, the seller, like, so say for example, if I'm the seller, you know, part of my sale would get skimmed and go to the Kaspa market, whoever the designer would be, or whoever is actually developing that. I think that'd be huge for bringing, like, real world transactions, because you could say, of course, let people buy your skateboard for fiat wherever you are in the country, but also give them like a discount if they want to buy it with Kaspa. And then in that page also, have a link showing how people can go and buy Kaspa, make it easy as possible for them, so that way they can say, oh, well, I could buy that for $100, but if I went and got Kaspa, I could get it for $90 worth of Kaspa, something like that. But I just don't have the skill set to do that stuff no more. I probably could really hunker down and get into it and probably figure it out, but running my own job, my own company now, it's kind of hard to find the time.
It's an interesting.
If I can respond to that before, hold on, if I can respond to that before Kaspa Marketing, before you move over, that was how I opened the show today, was actually talking about how I wanted to create a decentralized marketplace, exactly like you're describing. But the problem is it's going to require moderation, because there's going to be people who want to sell things that are illegal. And whoever creates this is going to have to think about that kind of moderation to make sure that people aren't human trafficking while pretending to sell cereal, right? So there are a lot of things to think about, and we have to think about regulations as well as the law, locally, nationally, internationally, right? If someone is running a site like that, they might have to think about extradition laws and make sure that they're compliant. And it's actually a lot tougher than just pretending we're all good people and that people are going to legitimately post a toy to sell, when instead someone could sell a puppy, but it's not really a puppy, it's a human being, right? So there are a lot of things to think about. I do want to move to Kaspa Marketing so that he can talk about this new analytics. I don't know if it's a program or exactly what you're building, but I do want to hear from Kaspa Marketing on that. Kaspa Green, I want to also just thank you for bringing up that marketplace idea. I'm in favor of it. I just think that it's going to have to be done delicately. Go ahead, marketing.
Yeah, thank you. I actually raised my hand. I would love to tell you a little bit about what I'm building, but I actually raised my hand I wanted to offer uh, two questions and a comment to Seb, if that's all right with you, Cara.
Yeah, go for it. You have the floor.
Seb, first of all, congratulations on the success you've had so far with your project. It's above and beyond. And I was on my laptop when I signed up as a verified user. And I was like, you know what? Kaspa has this real bone I've been trying to pick where it doesn't do anything right on mobile. Like even Kaspa.com is just like, if you go to the marketplace, it's just like a hot mess. And so I looked at your uh, site on my phone and I couldn't believe how smooth it worked. It's like incredible. It's incredible.
Yeah.
Um,
Thank you. I had mobile first in mind when designing it, and I still see because I'm developing, of course, on the big screen. But I do check the mobile screen all the time. But it's really optimized, also with lesser performing older devices in mind, to be able to use it on mobile. And also, I'm rolling out several last updates this week and this weekend. One I did today. That is, for instance, the photo, the images. I increased the upload size, but I also have stronger compression methods, and it's making use of caching worldwide, just to make sure it's optimized for regular use. So I'm really trying to make it work, but there are still, especially in the user interface, I see things that that needs to be improved. But thank you for your kind words.
Absolutely. And the two questions I wanted to ask you was number one, what's like your 2027 vision for this project? And also, how difficult would it be to sort of mimic like the titans of the industry? Like when I go to Google, I'll be very specific about this. When I go to like Google Maps, and you have a Italian restaurant in Bronx, New York, or maybe Brooklyn, New York, on CastMap right now. And when I go to Cavatelli on CastMap and I click it, it tells me it's Cavatelli, but I have to have like multiple clicks. Uh, Let me just take a quick breather and just let you know that uh, it's a lot like writing a book. Everyone has like constructive criticism, so I don't mean to be critical of your product. It's above and beyond, but when I go to Google, you know, I see Cavatelli and I see their address and their phone number and their website. But when I go to Cast Maps, I see Cavatelli and then I have to like click the profile and then I have to click another button to just see what their website is. And then I finally was able to see their website. So my number one question is, what's your 2027 vision of CastMap? Like, what problem does it ultimately solve? And number two, would something that simplifies how to get info on these businesses be easy to integrate? And is that on your roadmap at all?
Now let me start with a very practical side of your question, and that is the information that you are looking to find about the merchant. Um, there, there have been some constraints, of course, in time, making choices for what can I offer at this moment. And I chose to make use of the pop-ups at this moment to to give you the basic information. What I was thinking of, if you are logged in, at least you also have on the left side for the navigation. You have then also my locations, and well, also if you're not logged in, on the left side you have the filters, and you have your search button. Oh, by the way, one small thing, if you see in the left side where you see the search by location, if you tap or click on the marker on the left side, it switched to names. So you can, for instance, look for Juan or for Cara or for Seb or for anybody, and you will be taken to the person. It's a filter, and it brings you to the person, and then you can click it again, and you're back to location, and then it's not a filter, but it zooms to the position. But there on the left side, below that, there is an empty space, or there is a space that can be used. And I was thinking of when you click on, for instance, Cavatappi, that you then get on your left side below the filters, the toggles, etc. That you there get the information of the company or of the event or whatever you are clicking. So you get a preview with all the basic information over there. And also, if you have a verified company, or also as a profile, by the way, you have options to add photos to it that you also can browse it there. So so that you have almost Google-like, how do you say it, functionality. But I didn't do so yet. It has to be a different, also for loading and to keep it all smooth. This is functionality that will not work directly on the mobile, but it will work very good on the big screen. But it needs a separate development path to make sure it only calls the information when you click on it, and it's not the map itself, but it's a different part of it, an overlay. So I hope that answers your questions for my plans of making seeing the information easier of a merchant, and my 2027 vision. Well, to be honest, it's still developing. My focus now is to get or to keep traction. I'm very happy we have traction right now. One moment, I need to take a little sip. One moment. Yes. I for 2027. Yeah, for now. Well, it really started as as a project to help with the goal to help real world adoption, and that's still my goal, and that will also be in 2027 my goal with this website. I hope in 2027 that we have depending of course on the cycle, those are market conditions. But between the 10,000 and 100,000, or maybe over 100,000 users, the whole back end of this is compatible with scaling over 100,000 people. I really hope this takes off, and that it really can play a role in helping to onboard people. Also with the Meetup functionality, I really hope this can be a sustainable place for all Kaspians and everything Kaspa to meet each other, to have meetup like functionality, and that people also are using it. Maybe I think it will start with the topics of Kaspa, but I can also imagine that there will be other groups just like Meetup, but then an alternative for Meetup. And also some people were using Luma or other event calendars. I really also hope I also have plans for the calendars, for the events, to make that more professional. And just, I also have, if proof of works, for instance, changes the way they are handling jobs or so it's like a job board or a Fiverr like board. I want to integrate them as well, so also a merchant can place their job openings on it, and then we can also plot it here. And I have some more ideas, but I really want to make it a place where the whole Kaspa ecosystem can come together and can connect with each other. And if it goes well, I really hope that I can build a professional team and just make sure everything runs smooth and just improve, keep on improving, and not just to 2027, but also 2037, etc. I hope that answers your question for now. Or if you have more questions, let me know.
Sure does, Seb. Thank you. And if there's anything I could do to help, let me know. I've been in restaurants my whole life. I do marketing. So if there's something I could do, just let me know. But in the meantime, I'll do what I can to support passively by, reposting and commenting and just generally speaking, driving Caspians to your site.
Yeah, thank you very much. And everybody who's listening, please bear with me for the coming 2 weeks. I know there are some, like the leaderboard. I read it the whole way of how to register the points system in the back end. And I need to connect it. And there are some other things, especially for the merchant pages. But you will see changes the coming 2 weeks a lot on all parts of the website. And after that, it becomes more stable. But I'm still doing the finishing touches, which sometimes can mean that there are some drastic changes. But it's all for the good. And thank you for your patience, and thank you for your support. Cara,
Awesome.
Juan,
Thank you
yes.
so much, Seb. Thank you so much, Seb, for sharing so much about your project and for making a way for people to connect with one another, people who have a mutual love of Kaspa. I think that's really great, and I'm really glad that you've done this. So thank you so much.
Thank you for your kind words.
Mm-hmm. So, Kaspa Marketing, I still want to hear about your program that you're doing, your analytics. Can you tell us anything about it? I saw only a screenshot, and I'm not sure. Is Grok behind this? Is this something that you're developing with Grok? Is this something you're developing without Grok? Can you just tell us a little bit about what you're building?
Yeah, absolutely. So I feel that there's there's so many great people in the Kaspa community, and they all have so many different skills. And I feel like there's so many people just firing in so many different directions all at the same time. And I came to Kaspa 2 years ago, and I fell in love with the community. I have 2 miners. I've been mining at a loss, but I don't care. I just keep going with it, honestly. But I noticed just that the marketing isn't really where it needs to be. I think we've had this discussion, with sort of some of the references of Jehovah's Witnesses and so forth and so on. And so I just we have Crypto Odie in here, and the type of content he creates, where he puts the phones next to each other and shows that Kaspa's the fastest, right? And then I go into Solana spaces and I talk about it, and they kick me out and they tell me who cares about 3 seconds or 2 seconds or 1 second, which I can see their point. But so I started developing Kaspa Marketing. And what I'm really looking to do is hone everything together. And the screenshot that I shared of the analytics is simply X ads. But I've set aside a budget for the next 90 days to run ads on X that are all focused on Kaspa. And so some of you may be seeing those ads pop up in your feeds. And you might realize that they're ads, or maybe you think they're just another one of my posts. But the goal of Kaspa Marketing is to hone everything together, right? And so there's a person, his name is Ryan. He makes music, Kaspa music. This might be the type of stuff that we use in promotional materials to promote Kaspa. And that's pretty much that's the mission of Kaspa Marketing. That's the mission of Kasmi. Kasmi actually stands for Kas Marketing Initiative. Kasmi, and that's what we're here to do. And I've launched my NFT project. It's gone exceptionally well. The community has been super, super supportive. I don't even know if they know what my goals are and how much broader this is than just a meme of castbots, but I'm rolling it out slowly and trying to deliver the information in a very consumable way to everybody. But yeah, that's pretty much what I'm building and where I'm at right now.
That's really awesome. Where are you getting your analytics from? Are you actually building an aggregator, or are you working with Grok to help build one? How are you getting all these analytics? Where are they coming from? Just tell us about it, because I don't even know how to ask the question.
So the data is being just built on the back end of X ads automatically. So all I did was it's already built out. All I did was create the ads, run the ads, and I have about, I want to say, 10 different ads running right now, and they're all competing with each other for who gets the cheapest impressions and the cheapest engagement. And it really takes about 2 months to kind of get all of this accurate data, but it's all being built automatically through X ads.
Oh, interesting. That makes sense. What kind of ads are turning out to be the most successful? Have you found a pattern or a trend where you're going, whoa, this is working and this is not? Have you kind of seen anything like that yet?
Yes. Again, it's still in that like infant stage, but I'm noticing that multiple photos are what's doing well for me right now. Things that come across as somewhat, I want to say controversial, but at least conversational. Um, so that's kind of where I'm at right now. I just started the ads about less than a week ago. I've been working on Kasmi for about 3 months, but really kind of started jumping into the space to push the initiative about 2 weeks ago. So everything is really just like an infant right now. It's tough to say what's doing really well and what's not.
Where do you see it going when it reaches toddler stage and childhood stage and adult stage? What is your vision for this?
So the number one thing right now is just building up that seed funding. And once that's built, the next step is to roll out and this is a little bit of alpha for everyone in the chat. The next thing to roll out is actually going to be a bingo NFT, right? Like, I guess I'm a little old that I still enjoy playing bingo, but the next thing will be bingo boards, and they'll all be NFTs, and there'll be 1,000 of them. And in order to play bingo, you'll have to own the NFT, right? And there'll be prize pools, and the prize pools will be there'll be standard prize pools based off of cast bots, right? But there'll also be if the community wants to join in, maybe someone wants to offer one of their NFTs or some of their meme coins, something like that. I haven't really talked to anyone about that yet, but maybe they do that. And then once that part is sort of has some momentum. By the way, 50% of everything I earn through this will go right into advertising for Kaspa. And then the other 50% goes towards paying the devs and everything like that. But the next step from there, and this is the part I'm really excited about, is I have a final collection of NFTs. And this final collection of NFTs will be launched 20% on Ethereum, 30% on Solana, and 50% on Kaspa. And the goal of this would be to have our bingo, I call it DAG bingo, and it would be on Kaspa, and it would be live, right? And in order for people to play, they would have to come to Kaspa, right? That's the goal, is to get them over here, to get them to Kaspa, and to play their game, to use NFTs and pump that fun, you know. So I would want to do, like, hypothetically, we would be playing bingo, right? And it would be on a Spaces, it would be on Vivore, it would be on also Pump.fun, YouTube, right? And so we're reaching into all of these other audiences that are into crypto, but they just, like, have not discovered Kaspa, haven't had the right opportunity or the right interest. You know, like, people on Pump.fun are degens. They're just there for the quick buck and the casino gamble. And what I'm suggesting is building a bingo that's kind of has that degen gamble feel to it, but in a more structured, fair way. And there most definitely would be some people who would say, let's say we were playing bingo and it was on Kaspa and you had to own a bingo board that was an NFT, and we were streaming it on Pump.fun. People would say, how do I play? Where do I get a board? What is this? You know, or they would curse me out and tell me to go back to Kaspa and I'll just come back and hang out with you guys, you know. But either way, the goal is to roll out a series of 3 NFT collections that'll all start with Kasbots and always be tied to Kasbots, and then a bingo collection, and then the final collection, which would be called the Kaspians, and that would be a multi-chain NFT collection.
That is very, very cool. And I like the outside the box thinking. Bingo is huge. There's such a large demand for it, especially in the South. There's all sorts of buildings where they say Wednesday night bingo, Friday night bingo, win $100, win $1,000, and then everybody comes in. So I think that's a great way to reach out to an existing audience and say, hey, you want to play? Get your bingo card in NFT form, and you can get it on Ethereum, Solana, but whoop, we have a lot on Kaspa. So I think that's really cool. When do you think something like that would be viable?
I tend, my wheels tend to spin faster than my engine can handle sometimes, you know. So I actually have to pump the brakes. As of right now, I want to say that we could get the bingo going by Q1 of 2026, which is like tomorrow when you really think about it, you know. Right now, if anyone follows me and they haven't seen it, I have a huge bounty right now. If you mint one of my NFTs, I had one guy. One of the bounties was 5,000 Cas. He minted the Caspot. He won 5,000 Kaspa, which was like $250 in Kaspa. There's a $3,000 bounty, a 3,000 Cas bounty, 2,000, 1,500, and 750 Kaspa. It's just minting the NFTs on Kaspa.com. So if anyone's interested in playing along, your support is greatly appreciated. I'm here regardless. I have a lot of respect for everybody. I didn't come here to shill. But if someone is interested in helping just minting a couple NFTs, I appreciate it very much. I'd say fully to answer your question, Cara. Looks like 2026, the bingo could be going. And there's more initiative to that too, something like what you guys do here. I'm not really looking to, and this is just for example, I'm not really looking to be a content creator. I'm looking to focus on the marketing side of it, you know. So that's something for the community to think about. If anyone has any content, um, for example, that guy who I was talking about who makes music, I would love to use content to push it out in advertisements, and that's at no cost, right? Like if you're like, hey, Kasmi, I heard your pitch, I heard your elevator pitch. Here's a video. If you want to use it, go for it. I would love to just kind of put that out there and see what kind of data it gets. So feel free to contribute to my marketing initiatives. Budget is limited for now, but by the time Kaspians rolls out, it looks like that we could have about a $500,000 budget for advertising, which would be pretty awesome.
Wow, you guys are hearing this. We're looking at a roadmap of Q1 2026, and I would like to put that on the Kaspa FAQ site and be able to ask the question, are there games you can play on Kaspa? And then link to that, which will actually help with that marketing as well. So I'll be glad to do that for you. Juan, I saw that you were getting ready to speak, so go ahead.
Yeah, no, I wanted to shout you out, Kaspa Marketing, because I have no, I think you were obviously on the show last week, and I believe that's when we met you. But I appreciate your energy because I felt it all week seeing your posts. It's specifically to what you said, where I feel that you don't seem like a content creator. You're pushing out, people that are speaking up about Kaspa, and I just appreciate your content and what you're doing. So I just wanted to shout you out, and if you're not following Kaspa Marketing, definitely give him a follow. He deserves one, because he's selfless and doing this, and just obviously another big time believer in Kaspa. So I recommend everybody give him a follow. And I am in Florida. There's a lot of retirement homes here. So I know they play bingo all over the place. So if you need me to go door to door, I'll go do that for you too. So just thought I'd throw that there at the end.
Yeah, I appreciate that, man. And I appreciate you guys, Juan. I appreciate you, Cara. I appreciate you. And I am here to build with the community. And in that process, I think Kasmi will do well. So thank you for the shout outs. And when I come on the show, when I'm here, when I request to speak, I'm here to support, so I appreciate you letting me speak today. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
You're
That's what it feels like
welcome.
every time. So appreciate you. Go ahead, Kara.
Yeah. And we know that you're here to support, and I kind of put you in the limelight by asking you about this, which you've never shilled. So for everyone here, he's not even getting up to talk about it. I'm putting his feet to the fire and saying, tell us about it, tell us about it. But he's not usually one to toot his own horn. So I'm basically saying, play your horn, play it, tell us about it. Yeah, it's not usually in his nature to bring it up. So I'm glad. Thank you so much for bringing up Kasmi and what it's about and what we can look forward to, because I've been excited about this. I've wanted to know about it, and I'm very thankful that you've told us.
It's a pleasure, as always, guys, as always. And keep an eye on the updates. And again, same thing for Seb, same thing for you guys. If there's something I can do more so than what I've currently been doing, feel free to let me know, because that's literally what my initiative is all about.
So I have a question for you, Kasmi, as well as Buffalo, since you're both still speakers, and Juan, feel free to answer as well. But I'd like to hear from all of you on this is changing the subject, but I want to hear what your opinion is. Who do you think wallet number one is? Now that we no longer have wallet number two, it's moved up to number one. Who do we think it is? Can we speculate for a little bit? Some people think it's Bybit. Some say it's Binance. Who do you think it is and why? Go ahead, Buffalo.
Well, my idea was it's got to be Binance. And the reason I say that is because we've had the price suppressed since they were allowed to do futures trading with to um sorry, my girlfriend just came in the room. So I think that it's Binance just because of the way the price has been going since they put it on futures listings. And I don't think that they still have it on futures listings, but they had it on. I don't know if they took it off or put it back on. Maybe you guys can let me know. But I feel like it's been pushed down the price um, since that happened. So I think that there's suppression. I think that's just a game for them in Wintermute to get the cheapest cast that they possibly can. And then I'm thinking about the big drop that we had for everybody. And it would make sense to me that it's Binance or Wintermute. Um, but once again, I mean, of course, we don't know. But if we can track back when their big buys started happening, I think that they're somewhat in line when it went into futures trading because they wanted to get cheaper Kaspa. And they know that we're a small community, so I just think that I think there is some manipulation there to drop the price. That's my 2 cents.
That makes a lot of sense. We all saw the price drop after it had been going up. The Kaspa price had been skyrocketing the whole time until Binance stepped in and listed it as a future, and then we've had sideways action and downward action ever since. And then it started going up a little bit, and then Coinbase jumped in and said, "Oh, we're going to add a futures," and it's just been sideways and downhill ever since. So I'm with you on that. I do think futures are definitely 100% or 99.9999% involved. It just makes so much sense because the futures listings and the timing of it have directly correlated, in my opinion, with the price. So I do think that it could be Binance. Someone just posted, JK Burley Smile says he believes wallet number one is the US government. I'm not sure about that, but that's very interesting. Kasmi, Juan, what are your thoughts on this?
No, I'm with Buffalo. I think it's highly likely Binance from everything that we see. I mean, everything that he said, I'm in line with. But what if it's Satoshi coming back? What if? I don't know. But it's likely Binance. That's my opinion.
Could be. I mean, it could be anyone. I've heard some people suggest it could be an Asian exchange because we know how big the Asian market is in crypto. At first, I thought it could be them. I was looking at the dates and it seemed to make sense, but then I realized I was a month off, and so I completely backtracked on my position. I don't know if it's Binance. I know we want it to think it is Binance, but I'm not convinced it is. But I don't think it's an Asian market either.
So
And I'm not exactly sure if it's a private person. I don't know. This is why I want to hear from others on it because
it could be
my opinion
Sailor,
is
is what you're
I was
fine.
saying.
about to say it might be Sailor. It might be Sailor.
It could be, or it could be maybe some kind of company that they own. Maybe it's a group of people. Um, I think it's probably a group of some kind. But I don't know where I'm coming up with it. It's just a gut feeling.
I think given the number of wallets, like not wallets 1 through 6, give or take. I always watch your crypto crew. He's my guy on YouTube. You know, I try to catch up on his videos once a day. But I think all those top exchanges are Coinbase, Binance, Crypto.com. Like if you added up all the big boys, it probably is around the same number as exchanges as there are big wallets. I think this is just a speculation, but I'll be honest with you. I'm still a little bit confused about the Kaspa level 1 to the Kaspa level 2 integration. I haven't even made my way over to Kaspa level 2 yet. And I think that the exchanges feel a similar sentiment, and they're looking to list Kaspa level 2 rather than Kaspa level 1. And over time, Kaspa level 1 will just become the foundation and the sewer system and the electrical system beneath the surface of L2. And most people will never know of Kaspa L1. They'll only know of Kaspa L2. But if someone wants to speak on whether or not technically that could even make sense, I would love to hear that.
Kaspa Green, go ahead.
I put a small poll out there I think it was yesterday. Some people, I put maybe Kaspa Kai, and looks like that was kind of like his second in the running, is what other people are thinking as well. Second from Binance, obviously. Binance is the leading assumption, but I mean, I think Kaspa Kai has some stuff cooking, and it's just they've been pretty quiet and doing their thing.
So do you think Kaspa Key's behind this? Do you think they're wallet number 1?
It wouldn't shock me.
Interesting. And it's also an interesting point that was raised about exchanges listing L2s and then keeping L1 quiet, which I'm guessing that would be brought up since, Kaspa is an L1. As an L1, it kind of represents a challenge, right? It basically
System
becomes a
disruptor.
competitor. Yeah, it disrupts space. It disrupts
I mean, if you look at
the
all the
Binance
blocks,
coin.
like 90% of all of the blockchains that are listed, they're all based on around Bitcoin. I mean, essentially, and Kaspa completely disrupts that. So, and like, look at Binance. They got BNB. What they want you to believe is utility, but I mean, it's totally a competition for all these exchanges, coins. I mean, what if Kaspa doesn't need an exchange? What if it becomes the exchange?
Yeah, that's a great point that you bring up because I've been wondering that too. Because there's coins like private, like Monero's not listed on any of these. I understand it's a privacy coin, but what you just brought up, Kaspa the Green, I that's an interesting thought. It's like, are they going to wait to just list layer twos and not even focus on the layer one? Who knows?
I know I'm in the Caspian Sea right now, but full disclosure, I do like Solana a lot. And one of the things I like about Solana so much is that L1 is everything. Like I get totally confused with Ethereum. Like how how does that work? Like if I have coins on Arbitrum and I want to use them on Base, I have to use a bridge, and that costs money, right? And gas. Do I get hit with gas fees on the like? You could just go down this whole like what if and how do I, right? And I honestly feel that way with the L2s on Kaspa, especially given the as I've talked about in the past, the lack of mobile integration on Kaspa. So I don't even know how to use Kaspa level 2 still, and it's been quite some time. But what I love about Solana is that it's one level. It's level 1, and everything is here, and you don't need to worry about all that other stuff. So I think that model really makes sense. And in time, I think people would learn to appreciate Kaspa as a level 2 rather than, is it level 1? Is it level 2? Why don't I just do this on Ethereum? So that's my take.
Thank you for sharing that perspective. Buffalo, I see your hand up. You have the floor.
Yeah. Sorry, we kind of went through a couple of different things. I forgot why I raised my hand. But so I think it was Kaspa the Green was talking about it, and he said that Kaspa KII could be wallet number one, which, to be honest, makes a lot of sense because when we look at what the KII is doing, right, they want to onboard as a payment system for all of these big businesses, like, shipping companies, oil companies. You're gonna have money. You're gonna have Kaspa to do that. Um, that could be a group. That could be multiple companies deciding that they're going to be investing in Kaspa, and then that when they're ready for it to go for them to start using the payment system, then all of that money will get spread out different wallets. It's definitely a possibility. I didn't even think about that, but now that you brought that up, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, they're
Um,
going to need a lot of liquidity. I mean, if you look at, all the different companies that are in the, what is it? Basically, all the oil industry that they have, that they come from, and all the other industries that come with it, all the things that are based on oil and
and energy.
the yeah, I mean, it's just there's just so much that they're going to need a lot of liquidity to really run with it.
That's an interesting take. It looks like Crypto Odie is taking credit for being wallet number one because he was flipping shit at garage sales. So it looks like we have solved the dilemma. Crypto Odie owns wallet number one. Yeah, I guess the garage sales will do it, right? Um, I was actually talking with my son about garage sales and explaining to him the difference between centralized versus decentralized. And I said, look, a garage sale is decentralized. Walmart is centralized. Do you have I was explaining it to him in those terms, right? Because you can sell things at a garage sale. You don't have a boss. You don't have someone telling you what to do other than the government saying, hey, you can't do a sale in your in your garage every Saturday all year, right? There are some rules, but for the most part, it's a decentralized thing. You can just set one up anywhere. So it's interesting that crypto said, hey, this is mine. I was flipping stuff at garage sales, which actually keeps it decentralized. So that's something I just wanted to throw in there.
Speaking of Crypto Odie, I don't know if this was much on the agenda to talk about today, but did anybody see the Guinness World Record response? I can't remember who it was, but somebody threw it out there that they emailed him and was trying to get, that world record actually verified, and they responded. Anybody else see that?
Odie, can you request to speak and tell us what's going on with that? Because I know that's your field, and I don't know anything about what's happening there. I'm so behind. Would you be willing to tell us what's happening there?
I think he mentioned earlier that he couldn't talk tonight. I saw it on the
Um,
yeah.
oh, that's too bad.
But the
Yeah, talk
Kaspa
to
the
us.
Green, what did you hear? What's the? Because I didn't hear about it either. Oh,
Actually,
I'm
I don't
trying
Odie
to
just
find.
requested.
Odie the Great's here. Odie the Great.
Yo,
What's up,
I
buddy?
have no idea about the Guinness Book World Record stuff.
I tagged you on it, but I'm trying to find it right now. I have it lost in my notifications right now.
I personally just took the opinion that they're gonna go, we don't know how to measure this properly. And because actually for me, even I'm like, it's not like running a race, doing a crab walk. the fastest crab walk in 50 meters. Like, you're like, did they, they ran on 2 feet, so they're disqualified. With us, it's like we have like pruned nodes, like they're gonna. Some people would say that's a disqualification, or the fact that um, and we do have archival nodes, and it's like I find it to be. I think if I was in their shoes, it would just be so tough to make the call on like what is a real world record and what's true decentralization and what's true security. So, but what is their response? I don't know what their response was. So
I'm gonna throw the link. I found it. I threw it in the chat, but I haven't really seen much more on it.
yeah, it was some pretty good garage sales. Found a
So,
mammoth
Odie, have you?
husk, sold
Uh,
that, flipped it. Um, yeah. Sorry, go on, Cara.
do you have any updates? I'm just curious if you have any updates on the world record attempt. Has there been any progress on that? I have not checked in the last week or two because I've just been in a completely different headspace. But I'm curious if there's anything you can share in regards to that.
I dropped out of like I had some distractions coming into my life for the past couple weeks, and I have been very sparse with it. But what I do know is that the world record attempt, the most valuable part about it was the fact that it showed us some cracks that were like imperative for everybody to see, and there was a lot of conversations between like Michael Sutton and other devs about just the ways that nodes interact with each other, and they proposed things about private nodes being able to interact with public nodes, and I think they're doing some like squeegeeing on just the way that these processes are all communicating with each other because of just uh what was shown there with the explorers and stuff like that. So I think that's super weirdly enough, I'm like, that's exciting for me that um that we're it's not a fatal problem. It's not even like, it's just like there's tweaks that needed to happen and it got shown. So
Does does that have anything to do with what Michael was saying about um, the speed in which the transactions were being recognized, where there could be um, only one counted when there should have been two or three because there was some kind of 0.01 number or something like that? Could you break that down or explain that in layman's terms?
oh man, I really don't know if I can get too far into that stuff because um there was a lot of guys who were a lot more capable than me when they were running those bots, like Liberated Potato and Merlin, who made the other script, and I was kind of on this on the side of all of it. All I was doing was really just making sure that the data was getting back about the things that happen with explorers. Like we had uh, okay, so if I think about what you're asking with the duplicate part, um, when it comes to the first test, um, I'm just thinking about. Yeah, no, I don't think I'm capable for answering this right now because like yeah, it's out of it's out of my realm when there's all these moving parts and the stuff that's happening with the explorers. I'm just about to start to dive into exactly what the inner workings of this machine really means because yeah, I have my own kind of place where I lay my where I lay my expertise, and I can't really comment here.
Do you think that that's one of those tweaks that they're going to make, or do you think that that's going to be something that can't be tweaked? Has there been
Oh, for
any
sure. It's being
discussion?
it was getting like full on um full on addressed as a main priority. So within the dev groups, I saw them talking about um all these different very foreign concepts about um data load data load sharing and public node to private node interactions um and yeah, I can tell that they're getting to the bottom of whatever could be it's not anything that needs a hard fork is what I can see from what they're saying. It's more just tweaking the data management essentially. And yeah, so
So we have to thank you for that, because if you had never started organizing this world record attempt with Liberated Potato and the group of people, this would have never come to light. And now we have one more thing that can be tweaked to make it even more impeccable as a network, so that when data shows up on the Explorer, it's as correct as it can be. So thank you so much for that.
yeah, and also another thing is the blockchain worked perfectly and the nodes worked perfectly, and um so that part wasn't necessarily the issue. It was more just the cataloging was falling behind. And I think that with Bitcoin, certain levels of expertise start to emerge when you start to run into the edges of your particular challenges. And with what Kaspa's doing, it is I think greedy for us to say that we're not going to have to um, work very hard in certain nooks and areas to really streamline and perfect what we're doing.
That's awesome. I'm really, really grateful for you, Odie, and what you're doing. And I've been checking Michael Sutton's page just to see if he's addressed more of those things that came up as a result of all of those stress tests that were done. And I like that you helped bring these things to light now, because it's important that we do stress tests to see where can we make improvements, and you help make that happen. And I thought it was funny when you went to Michael and said, "Hey, tomorrow we're going to try to break Kaspa." I thought that was funny. That was great.
I did, wait, did I screenshot that or did I actually comment that? Because I I
You said it to
I
him.
DM'd him that on Telegram a couple days before that, and I never got a response, but I thought it was pretty funny that that was my introduction. I said we're gonna break Caspa, or we're gonna try.
That was great. And he was so confident in what he had built with Caspa that he wasn't mad or saying, "No, don't do that." It wasn't that at all. He was checking it out, looking to see uh, the results of the test and really
I think
taking it
yeah,
seriously.
we were like genuinely. I think there was a lot of people who got a little bit nervous, and that's just like not what you want from the people who are enveloped in such a system, to be like, oh, if it gets pushed too hard, or if there's some sort of human thing that you can do to it that makes it like hit a red alarm and just like go down. I'm using the like word a lot, Kara.
I know, I'm gonna kill you in my book.
Way to catch yourself, Odie. Way to catch yourself, buddy.
But yeah, so if it does break in any way and you're worried about it, then something's wrong. And doing this that really like harbors a sense of confidence for everybody. I think another stress test will be like, it will be essential to do in a bit here, and I hope we don't have some fee upgrade things change so that we can't implement another test without it costing $1 billion. So hopefully we can have our fee market stay the same, because that's also getting changed, which is another thing from our test, which we went, oh, okay, if there's this might not be the optimal way to do our fees. And so, yeah. And I was having a one-on-one conversation with Jonathan actually about the fees, and that was really cool because I sent him a proposal of my own, and then he sent me something that he said, I've been flirting with this idea a lot. And then he sent me this document, which was something that Aviv Zohar wrote from 2019 or 2018, about Bitcoin fees. And yeah, and it's and that's definitely on the table, and it seems like it's going to be happening, is just just a kind of alteration on the way that the fees hit the blockchain and the way that everything's ordered.
Do you know when we might hear if or when that's going to happen, and who's going to tell us? Or what do you know about that?
All I know is they want more manpower. They desperately want the brain drain on the crypto world, and for the smart developers to start getting excited and flooding over to Kaspa and pitching in their repos, I believe that it's called, and um, adding their. Honestly mystified by how you can just have a bunch of people adding pieces to these incredibly complex softwares and not have it, like, they have a system in the way that you can add something, and it's very interesting to me. But yeah, they're looking for, they always want more people to be joining in at this point. That's like kind of the thing that I'm noticing.
I
Do
got a
you
question for
or
you, Odie.
anyone else?
Can I, Kara, can I?
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, Juan.
Yeah. So what I wanted to ask you, Odie, is, obviously you organize this, and big props on putting it all together and having this happen. Where are you? What I'd like to know is, like, where are you conviction wise with what you see? Because you came out with some pretty amazing videos that captivated us all about pointing out some of these things in Bitcoin. And then obviously this test brought to light some of the things that we have to address within Caspa. So where are you in terms of what you learned in your conviction within Caspa?
I I think that a part of myself was slightly humbled by the fact that I went, okay, this is, we're really in it, and this is not just a like magic thing that just happens for me, and it's already perfect, and it's always going to be perfect. It was a moment where I was like, oh, like, there's like, this is the same as any world changing technology. Like, if you think about, I don't know, the differential axle gear and how many iterations of that type of thing, or different softwares that have come out, or challenges in science that have to happen. And I just and the irk in my heart when I was like, oh man, there was an ordering sequencing thing that wasn't perfect. And um but right on the other side of that, I'm immediately, like, aware that this project is the closest thing by by a landslide, by light years, that can achieve what it's trying to achieve, and it has all these qualities that nothing else even has close to having when it comes to the scaling properties plus the security properties. There's still some funny magic in the nodes that I want to have demystified, and I think everyone wants to have demystified, and the limits of the nodes and what's truly needed from an exchange for them to be confident, what's truly needed for us when we're running at 5,000 TPS. We all want to be confident on those things, and I think all these answers, especially with AI in the next 4 years, I think these answers will be more demystified and given to us in a way that we're like all confident and able to understand exactly how much better we can optimize it, and then what exactly, if there is any what's the word, like limitations, where exactly they are. um and I do also want to buy us more time as well. There's a part of myself that um I've been really trying to push a proposal for the fee market, which gives our miners lots more time, but it's kind of an unheard of type of uh, way of fees, process of fees working. But I'm kind of working on putting out a video at some point, which is going to be like in 2027, there's going to be an intersection, or I'd say like late 2027 or mid 2027, where we're going to have to make a decision about like, if our adoption is at like X, then we make this decision. And if our adoption is at Y, then we make that decision. And like one of them's a much safer one and buys us more time. And then the other one's just kind of like, let's just let it rip and keep it going the way that it's going to go. But I think a lot of people don't understand that there is a way that we can not have this be a ticking race against the clock thing where we're all kind of going, oh, if this doesn't work by 2029 or 2030, we're screwed. That's not a good feeling, I think, for like, it's like trying to everybody get on board, because if you all get on board, this will work. But if you don't, it won't work by this certain time. I think that type of narrative is very, it makes me a little disappointed, and I know that there's a way to rectify it. I know that there's a way that we don't need block rewards and we can still guarantee our miners get paid uh, up until basically any time past, up until 2040, 2050. If we kind of do our fees in a different format that uses social consensus, which says us as a community, as us as all Caspians, we want our miners to get a certain amount of Kaspa, and we want to guarantee that to them. And if we all make that decision collectively, there are mechanisms that we can put in play, not by donating our own Kaspa necessarily, but like um that's kind of what I'm shooting for, is like at least putting that on the table so that people understand that, oh no, it's not just this race against the clock. Like there's whatever road we go down is success. Whatever road we go down, there's always a plan, and there's no part where it's like we ran out of block rewards and now there's a public announcement where we're going to stop our blockchain like Kadena.
That's a good point. Kaspa the Green, your hand is up. Do you have a response or a perspective you want to bring?
Yeah, I was just wanting to say that it was really awesome that you got that together that night. I remember being on the chat with you, and it was just phenomenal to see everybody across the world just trying to, break it. It was great. It was just an awesome community thing. And I mean, I think there was a little bit of confusion. Some good things came out of it, like you said, and like the explorers. Everybody probably seen the updates that came through after that, like Cas FYI got an update. I mean, there's a couple different things that happened. But I think there was a little bit of confusion about looking at the nodes and trying to look at the explorers and comparing, and things weren't jiving numbers wise. But I think what people sometimes forget when it comes to UTXO, it's it's an unspent transaction output. So, for example, if I have a single 500 CAS and I want to send 200 CAS, you'll also receive 300 CAS back to you, and that's kind of confusing for some people to think about. But like, it's not just one single simple transaction. It's a bunch of things that happen, and I think that the node sees all those, but sometimes the explorers don't. The explorers just see the single simple transaction, and that's where I think that gets kind of lost. But overall, I thought it was awesome. And then to touch on what you were talking about with the miners, what I think I read a little bit about almost like a bidding system for the miners to kind of request a specific fee for their miner, or something like that. I wasn't quite sure if that is
Yeah,
correct.
yeah. There was they put out this suggestion. My first suggestion was the miners can choose their minimum fee, and uh and at the same time Shy Desh put out that suggestion as well. And then on Telegram, then all the devs and Jonathan were talking about how it doesn't quite work because it becomes this situation where if one set of miners creates a minimum of let's say one Kaspa is their minimum fee, and then another group of miners can go to zero point 0.1, and it has to be like only about 20% of them, and then if they all go to zero point 0.1, then it only takes 20% of those miners to go to 0.001, and it
Right.
becomes like a runaway down to the
Downward
bottom. So
spiral. Yeah.
exactly. So that was their logic. Intuitively in my head, which I feel like I like, I'm sad to say that I just kind of go, it sounds like it should work and it feels like it should work. And so that's how they got to that particular one, that conclusion. So I didn't really argue with that too much. I went, okay, that's fine. But the thing that I quickly jumped to was this different idea of, I guess it's the best way to put it would be social consensus about a amount of Kaspa that should go to the miners. And then most of these proposals need a hard fork, by the way. So um
Right.
so that it will, like, including the one that they're going to do as well, they all need like some sort of a hard fork. So it'll probably be thrown in um around the same time as Dag Night or something like that. But the one that I proposed was, let's say everyone says we want a 1% security budget, and maybe that it kind of has a mechanism where that number can fluctuate. But 1% security budget is 287 million Kaspa per year going back to the miners. And let's say this is just for about 5 years that we want this guarantee to happen. So the way that it would work is, we would say the max fee, so people are happy, we'll say the max fee will be 1 Kaspa. And when you do the math, if you're doing 9 TPS, and 1 Kaspa, so 9 TPS is 9 transactions per second, which is coincidentally 287 million uh, seconds in a year. So the funny thing is that would be 1 Kaspa at 9 TPS. That would fulfill a 1% security budget. But the fun part about it is if the TPS increases, let's say the TPS goes to 90 TPS, then the fee would only have to be zero point 0.1 CAS. And you would still, the miners would still get 287 million Kaspa per year. And if the TPS goes even higher, the fee goes, 0.009 Kaspa. So it kind of fluctuates, and the way that the TPS is gauged by all the nodes will kind of do a gossip about the past 20 seconds of TPS. So it kind of jumps around, right? So you see the TPS is at 15, then it's at 50, then it's at 30, and then it's kind of every second it jumps around. It takes an average, and from that average, at that moment, it makes it that's the fee that all the transactions have to pay at that exact moment. And then like 5 seconds later, it creates a new feed based on basically the fluctuating TPS that comes before it.
So it's like a live consensus.
Yeah, so it's completely foreign. And but for me it feels like the closest thing to block rewards without being block rewards. And uh and for me that sounded exciting if we're still in our adoption process, because it would give people confidence, and we would be known as the blockchain that the more people that used it, the cheaper it got. It would be kind of the opposite of it'd be the opposite of like the way that they kind of try to structure it, where it's like for some reason the more people that get into the blocks, we make it more expensive, when for some reason to me that sounds counterintuitive. It's like, why not just make it cheaper for the more people that get in, and do away with all the ordering, like trying to order people, just have it first come first serve, and when within and everyone's given the same fee at a same moment, like at every second they're given a different fee based on the average from what was before. So I think in a computational way, and I'm speaking out of my like rear when I say it feels like it would be less complicated for like ordering people or ordering all the different transactions for some reason. But yeah, that was just my goal, was like to make something that feels like a guarantee and can actually be implemented.
Thank you, Crypto Odie. If I can step in for a minute.
Yeah.
We're gonna start winding this down a little bit. On Juan's side of the world, it's getting pretty late, and this is usually about when we wind down. But I do want to say, Crypto, I love what you're saying, Odie. Uh, I am enjoying this immensely. I know he is as well. You bring so much insight and value and so much, and I just really appreciate you so much. We both do. I do want to say we're going to move into. I want to ask one question of everybody in here before we start winding it down. Linda just gave us a question, and her question is about: does anybody know anything about the conference that Jonathan is attending in Britain in December? Now, I asked Grok this, and Grok said there's no public information about this, so I am hearing about this for the first time. If anyone knows, I'd like to know. I don't know if we even have time to get into that tonight, but if you do have information, please reply to Linda in the chat so we can all follow along and see about that, because some of us might want to know that he's going to be in Britain and can listen to him speak. Anyway, just to kind of go over some things from today, if you're interested in signing up for Seb's Cast Map, you can go to castmap.org. You can get a 10% off referral using either Cara or Juan. Either one will get you 10% off if you sign up for premium, although it is free. It is freemium. Also, if you've enjoyed our show and you'd like to support us, this is completely optional. Just if you want to send some love, energy, and support, you can send a donation if you want to beneaththesurface.cas, and any proceeds will be split 50-50 between me and Juan. Again, this is completely optional. And we do want to thank everybody who donated last week. It was completely unexpected. And we want to thank all of our speakers who came on tonight, who are here with us, as well as those who were on earlier. We've just gotten such a wealth of information, and we could do this all day. This is one of those things that there's always so much information, and it's always something we're very passionate about. And we want to thank, obviously, all the listeners here, everyone who took time out of your day to be here, to connect with us, to listen, to learn, to bring your ideas, share your questions, showing your support and your emoticons to show that you're listening and you're involved. We appreciate every single one of you. It means a lot when people are here presently. And of course, we also want to thank everyone who is not here with us in this real time, but is going to listen to us in future time, listening to us on recording. As everyone here probably knows already, more than 10 times our listeners show up in recording format. So after we're done recording this, most of our viewers and listeners will be coming in then. So we want to thank all of you for listening as well and for being a part of this. And Juan, I'm going to give you the floor so you can share any last words. I know that you're someone I definitely want to thank as well for being a great co-host and being such a great positive influence on everyone here. So thank you. And thank you, everyone.
Yeah, I appreciate those kind words, Cara. Likewise, you know that I love the relationship we're building and what we're able to bring to Caspa. We both have unique perspectives, and that's the beautiful thing about a decentralized community project like this is everybody matters, everybody plays a part, everyone's important, right? So appreciate all the speakers for coming up. I learned a lot today. Loved having you on, Odie, and you sharing your insights on what you're doing. Seb, you know, so cool to see you do what you did so quickly after a conversation just a couple months ago. That shows the power of this community and what we're capable of. Yeah, you know, there's the sentiment may be where it's at, but you know, it feels good to be in Caspa. We're at the right place at the right time always. So I'll leave it with the tagline for the show, which is blockchain banter flowing beneath the surface of blockchain, where Caspa carries the current of truth. So remember, one conversation at a time. Be humble, be kind, give it time. Caspa is vibrating at that truth of the Caspa is vibrating at the frequency of truth seekers, and the truth is catching on. Love you all. Have a good night.
Good night.